I don't know how to pronounce that. Hey guys, welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be doing a review of a ton of the newest products from the drugstore. If you watched my most recent video, I did a haul and a ton of it was some of the newest stuff on the market. So we're here to test some of the most new and viral, hyped up products to see if they're actually worth the hype and worth the purchase. So if you want to see my first impressions of a ton of new drugstore stuff and also see a wear test along with my final review, then keep on watching. So the first product we're going to be testing today is probably one of the most hyped up products of the year, and that is the NYX Marshmallow Primer. This is a 10-in-1 smoothing super primer. It's infused with smoothing marshmallow root extract, has a soft whipped texture. It dries down totally transparent to work on all skin tones. So it's supposed to smooth, soften, and extend makeup wear for up to 16 hours, hydrate, soothe, even tone, minimize texture, blur lines, add a soft focus finish, and keep makeup fresh. It is 100% vegan. There's no silicone. Packaging wise, I actually really like it. I like the baby pink. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like. Get it going. That is the actual texture of it. It does look like whipped, kind of moussey texture. Oh yeah, it does have like a slight marshmallow scent. So once I kind of like touch it, you can see how it really does look. It almost looks like that like marshmallow in a jar type thing. So I'm going to just take that and smooth it across the face. It definitely has a slight like sweet marshmallow type scent. And I'm just kind of using my fingers to smooth it over the skin. So let's take a look. I definitely notice a smoother canvas. I do feel like it did smooth a lot of my texture, especially on my forehead and in my cheeks. I don't think it filled in my pores like a lot of my pore filling primers do, but it did a decent job. Let's just see what happens if you build it a little bit in the areas that are like more troubled areas. Like sometimes I will build my primers right where my pores are largest, and sometimes it can, like just the little bit of extra product can really make a big difference. I'm not really seeing a ton of pore minimizing, but I do, again, feel like my skin as a whole is smoother, and I do feel like it kind of did have a bit of a blurring effect. Like I do feel like my skin looks a little bit more even. I don't think it even really technically said it is pore minimizing. It said it smooths, softens, extends wear, hydrates, soothes, evens tone, minimizes texture, blurs lines. So it never even said that it would fill in pores. So I guess I can't really judge it off of that, but I do think it so far did everything that it's claiming. My skin does feel softer, and it is drying down, pretty much dried down. It does feel like my skin is a little bit more moisturized and hydrated, which is nice. I do feel like it did add a bit of like a blurring effect, just a little bit. So far, so good, I think. We're gonna have to just see if it really helps the wear and how things like layer over top of it. That's always a big test. So now we're going to be testing a brand new foundation. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Believe It Foundation and Concealer. So this guy is an ultra luxurious foundation and concealer infused with a powerful blend of Maru butter, I don't know how to pronounce that. Tucuma butter. Incredibly creamy texture melts into your skin, leaving a natural radiant glow, while our long-wearing weightless formula provides buildable coverage. Oil-free, paraben-free, and it is vegan. I did mention in my haul that I'm not impressed with the shade range. I did say that there was 8 shades and I was wrong. There's 12 shades. So a little bit, this is the lightest shade. I definitely think it's going to be a little bit too dark. And I know that there's people that are even more pale than I am. So I think if you're super pale, you will not find a shade that matches you, unfortunately. Hopefully they will add more shades soon, but that was really disappointing. Let's just hope formula will make up for that. I know it's supposed to be really full coverage, so we're gonna go in with like lightly. Oh, it is fragranced. It's their typical like almost coconut scented fragrance. Oh, this actually might match me after all. And as you can see, I barely like applied any, and it's actually covering really well. It's pretty full coverage, which you would hope. It's a foundation and concealer. For some people, it's gonna be a one and done type thing. The only thing is, if you're more pale than me, like this actually matches, it's like maybe a half shade too dark. You might not even be able to see it, but I don't know if you guys can see that my neck's a little bit more pale. So it matches my face perfectly, but it doesn't match my neck. That's really common for me. So I'm actually like, I'm not mad about it. But if you are more like fair than me, this will be too dark for you, and it is the lightest shade. I did 1.5 pumps, and I've already almost covered my lower half of the face. I would probably say I've maybe used the half pump. So I think if you're going for like one layer, you might not even need a whole pump. If you're super ultra sensitive to fragrance, I don't think it's gonna work for you because it is quite fragranced. But if you've used Physicians Formulas products before, you'll know what scent I'm talking about. It's pretty like tropical. It's kind of like coconutty. It is quite coconutty. So if you're really against coconut as well, then you're probably not going to like it. Okay, so that's one good layer. If you're not acne prone and you don't have any blemishes or scarring, I think that it would probably look pretty full coverage to you. But because I have scarring, like those suckers poke through a lot of, like it's got to be full coverage for it to cover. So I am actually going to go in with another half pump. So far so good in terms of coverage. And I think it builds nicely. Like I added another light layer just in the areas I felt like it needed it. It added a little bit of extra coverage, and it also didn't get like cakey or thick or heavy. Like I do really think that it feels comfortable. So I think I'm happy with that, but I do definitely feel like I'm gonna just need concealer. I use concealer not only for coverage, but also to kind of brighten certain areas. So I'm going to still go ahead with concealer. I'm actually going to be using my Too Faced Born This Way. It's just one that I know, and it's a good concealer. So I'm going to go ahead, blend this in, and then we're going to set it with a new powder. Okay, so I've applied concealer. I definitely think it helped me enjoy this foundation more because it like brightened that area. For foundation, I'm really impressed with this, guys. I love the way that this is sitting on the skin. I'm just gonna turn the brightness down, and that's with the brightness all the way up again. That way you can really just see how it looks in studio lighting and then without it. I really like the way that it's sitting on the skin. Let's move on, and I'll update you guys on those at the end of the day. We're gonna apply the CoverGirl Clean Fresh. I got this in my haul. This is not new, so I won't really like focus too much on it, but this is a healthy look pressed powder. It's supposed to absorb oil and deliver a fresh, flawless looking skin. It's formulated without phthalates, mineral oil, formaldehyde, talc, parabens, and sulfates, so it's really clean and good for your skin. It has a lightweight, flawless finish that lasts all day. There's buildable coverage, and it makes pores less visible. I got the translucent because the next lightest shade was pale, or was it pale or fair? And it still looked kind of dark, and I wanted it to be like brightening for under the eyes, so I did just get translucent. I'm going to do what I always do and use a sponge under my eyes, and then I'll use a brush for the rest of my face. So I'm going to first make sure there's no creases. If you like to use a brush, then you do what works for you, but this is just what I do with loose or pressed powder just for the under the eyes. So far after setting the under eyes, oh, I really like that powder. Oh, I know I'm gonna love that. It actually reminds me of the Charlotte Tilbury one because it gives that like fresh, smoothing, like it just smooths your skin. It sets it down pretty matte. So I definitely don't see any of that glow. I personally don't think that foundation is very dewy or radiant finish. I do personally think it is a natural finish foundation, and then once you set it, it obviously is going to be more matte. Oh, I love that powder. It really just makes your skin look flawless and smooth. It does make it look kind of healthy, and I don't think it makes it look cakey or anything, so I'm really happy with all of the products so far. Like we're having a good session here of new products. Now to another new product. This isn't brand new to the market, but this one came out in 2020, I believe. And this is the Maybelline Brow Extensions Fiber Pomade Crayon. This is supposed to deliver thick brows instantly. I don't necessarily like thick brows, but I like full brows. Like I like that filled in. Pomades are my jam. Infused with hair-like fibers that adhere to the brow hairs for a full, thicker brow look. look. It thickens as it colors, and it has a natural matte finish. There's 6 shades, so let's just go ahead and try it. I got it in deep brown. Okay guys, sorry, my battery did die, so I had to let it charge for a bit. I did go ahead and do a look with the Nude Mood palette by Colourpop. This is actually the first time I used it. It's not brand new, that's why I just did it off camera, but also because my battery was dead. So really, really happy with this palette. I really like it. Now let's go ahead and do brows. I have the brow extension pomade that we just talked about. Wow, like there really actually is fibers in here. If you look, do you see like the fibers in there? It looks like little hairs are on the pencil. I'm hoping that it's not going to be like too thick for getting like a precise line. I'm just going to go ahead and lightly kind of start to fill in that brow. So I have a couple comments about this. I do really, really like this actually. I don't think it's precise enough to get like a really straight line, especially if you have thin brows to begin with. Like I personally think that I would like to get like a more precise line there. I don't know if you guys can see, like on the bottom of my brow here, it's like patchy because I wasn't able to get like, I'll try again to show you guys. I wasn't able to get that precise line, like it's too, oh, I guess that's a little bit better. That actually worked a little bit better. But the reason I really like this is it definitely gives you that fluffier, full, thick brow kind of look. As you can see, like it's actually gelled my hairs into place. It actually does hold your hairs. I'm gonna have to see how long that lasts. Use a brush to brush the hairs up, and because it's that sticky pomade texture, it actually holds the hairs there. So I think this is going to be good for people that like that like feathery brow look. I do think the little hairs actually do create more fullness. I do like this, I do have to say. And I think I would definitely use it again. I think it's quicker than filling in my brows with like a pomade, so it would be like a more natural brow. But then I do think I would also need to go in with either a regular pomade or like a powder or a pencil just for like the line underneath. So for example, I'm just gonna use a brown shadow here. Just show you if you like clean it up with a pencil or a pomade or a powder, just because it's not thin enough to get that line, that really like helps make it look a lot like cleaner and less messy. But it did a really good job. And I feel like it also, because it gelled the hairs, it kind of is like a 2-in-1. So I'm personally happy with this so far. I'm gonna see how it wears throughout the day and lasts. It is interesting. It's an interesting product. Like take a look at the end of this now. Do you see all of those little like hairs coming out of it? So it's a really cool like idea. I'm just hoping that they're gonna stay the way that they are. I definitely don't think I would have enjoyed it as much if I didn't apply the like brown shadow, kind of get some more shape to it. So. Now let's do some liner. The newest liner that I got, because I did get 3, but the newest one that I got is from Maybelline. I don't know how new it is. I'll be completely honest with you. It literally says like new right up here in like that pink writing. I thought it was new, but I don't think it's really that new. I think it came out at the beginning of 2020, maybe even before that. So I apologize. It's not like brand new, but it's new to me and we're going to test this out. So it's the Master Precise All Day up to 24-hour liquid liner, but it is the matte one. This is supposed to deliver laser sharp precision for the most defined line. The liquid liner features an ultrafine 0.4 millimeter brush felt tip to deliver precise definition in one single stroke. The ink pen's continuous flow provides smooth, even lines for the perfect cat eye. The highly pigmented formula will keep your liner look lasting all day for up to 12 hours. It's waterproof, smudge-proof, fragrance-free, ophthalmologist and dermatologist tested. I do think it has pretty good flow. I was able to get like a really precise line with the tip. It is a pretty precise felt tip, definitely pretty matte, and I really, really enjoyed that. It is not bleeding whatsoever in the inner corner, even though I went kind of thicker with it. I love that liner. I love it. It's super ultra matte, and I really enjoy that. Okay, so I'm just gonna curl my lashes. This is the Lash Princess Volume Mascara, and this is a different wand than the False Lash Effect. It has that like kind of curved applicator. It's supposed to lift, separate, and cover each lash for the most majestic volume. Okay, so that is the mascara. I do really, really like it. I do think it does provide more volume than the False Lash Effect, but I don't think it provides as good like length. So I don't think I like this one as much as the False Lash Effect one, but if you have really long lashes and you look more for volume, I think you will prefer this one. I do think I actually would like to layer them. Don't get me wrong, it's a good mascara. It's cheap, so if you're looking for a cheap volumizing mascara, this one so far is good. I still have to see if the formula flakes or anything, but from first application, I do like it. It's not my favorite, but I do like it. So we have a couple more products. I have the Physicians Formula All-Star Face Palette. I'm gonna be using the Matte Noir Butter Bronzer as it is new. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and contour with it. Obviously, it is more of a bronzer, so it's gonna be a little bit warmer. Ooh, she's a little bit, oh my goodness. That is orange. I think I might have just picked up a little bit too much. So yeah, no, it was just a little too much. It is definitely warm, so I personally think I would just use it as bronzer. I don't think I would necessarily, it's actually not that bad. It is a little bit warm for a contour for me, but it's not too bad. If you like a really cool contour, this is obviously gonna be a bronzer, but that's not surprising as it is a bronzer. So this new Matte Noir bronzer is supposed to be an ultra luxurious water resistant matte bronzer that's infused with Noir and Maru butter to deliver long lasting matte Tahitian sun-kissed look. It's incredibly creamy, soft texture, combines the best features of a powder and cream bronzer to deliver an airbrushed matte finish like any other. I do really like Physicians Formula's bronzer, like their original one. I think this one's supposed to be a little bit more matte though. I do definitely feel like this one is a little bit more pigmented from first impression, although the one that I have is like the individual one I have is in the light bronzer, so I don't know if maybe that's why. I do wish it was like maybe a little bit less orange because I am so pale. If you are a more medium skin tone, I think this would be really nice, be a little more flattering on your undertone and your skin tone. I'm not like mad about it. So that's the original, and then there's also the Sun-Kissed. I think actually the Sun-Kissed might be even more like warm, so I do wish that they maybe offered a little bit of a cooler toned one, but formula wise, it is looking stunning. Like I like that it's looking very airbrushed and smooth. It's blending out really nicely. It is pigmented. So, so far so good. Only thing I would complain about is the fact that it is quite warm, but I think just for me, I would again probably just use it as bronzer next time and just use a little bit less of it. And I think it would just provide a really like sun-kissed glow type effect. Very smooth. It doesn't emphasize any texture. It's not patchy. So really nice. Guys, I do have to say that my face is looking a little bit cakey right now. I don't know if it is just because I applied 2 layers of the foundation and then concealer because it is such full coverage. Like maybe that's too much. I'm going to see how it wears for the rest of the day, but I can already tell, like, I'm going to show you up close. I think maybe next time if I'm going to be adding concealer, I will only apply 1 layer. I am going to obviously test all of these products as I mentioned before again. I will update you in my monthly favorites as to whether these products, you know, turned out good or bad after continuing to test them. Now we're gonna move on to blush, and in this palette it comes with the Happy Booster Glow and Mood Boosting Blush. This is one of their original formulas. This is the first time using it, but I know a lot of people love it. So I really liked the idea of this palette because it kind of gives somebody an opportunity to try a lot of them, and it is a good deal. Blush, as you can see, this is actually the first time I've tried it. Stunning, absolutely stunning. It does have a bit of like a sheen to it, and I think that's what gives it the more creamy, healthy look on the skin. They have the Powder Palette Mineral Glow Pearls. It's a silky soft highlighting powder with illuminating pearl pigments for an instant glowing complexion. Now on the top it looks like super silvery glittery, but once you actually swatch it, it goes more of like a rosy shade. So I personally think it's more of like a rose gold, like rosy champagne. Actually a really pretty shade, but don't be kind of confused. It's not like silver. It is darker than that. And then it also comes with the Rose All Day Petal Glow, which is a more like golden highlight. The Rose All Day highlight in the palette, because there are different shades. This one is in Freshly Picked. It says it's a champagne online, but it's definitely, in my personal opinion, a gold. It may be like a slightly champagne-y gold. Like it's not super like yellow, but it definitely is more gold than champagne. It's kicking up like a lot of products. Do you see that? So this is what the highlight looks like. The Rose All Day Petal Glow, sorry, in Freshly Picked. I actually really like that. It's definitely golden, but it's not too golden for even fair skin tones. So I think it's going to be flattering on a lot of skin tones. I really like that highlight. I do think I'm going to like it mixed with this one as well, because this one will maybe make it a little bit less golden and maybe turn it a little more champagne. Oh yeah, that's nice. We're going real heavy on the highlight, obviously. I'm really happy with both of those. I think this palette is a definite hit. I really enjoyed that palette. So last but not least on today's video, I'm going to be using the NYX Shine Loud lip color. So it does come in 12 shades, I believe. Okay, so this one is in the shade Magic Maker. It is like a dusty mauvey nude. So I'm gonna go ahead and test this guy out. It's supposed to be ultra pigmented with a high shine, 16-hour no transfer wear, lightweight, comfy on the lips, vegan, and then it has a glassy like topping gloss. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this. It's supposed to be like completely transfer proof. So I'm super pumped to see if that's actually true, because I hate when my lipstick transfers and bleeds. So what I'm going to do is apply this, and then you're supposed to wait, I think, 90 seconds and then apply the gloss over top. So we're going to see. Camera may die again. So if you don't see me apply this fully, that is why, but I will wait to apply the gloss. Okay guys, I'm so sorry. I definitely thought my battery was charging last night and it was not. And I only have so long to record this because my son is napping. So long story short, let's get this done before my battery dies again. So I went ahead and applied this. Oh, it is not the most comfortable. You see how my lips are like completely sticking together? But I do have to say it is very easy to apply. It is quick. It is very pigmented. The applicator allows you to get a really precise line. I was able to overline slightly to make my lips look a little bit more plump and full, I mean. So I'm really happy with the color. I'm happy with the way that it looks, but it is not comfortable at all. Let's go ahead and see if it's transfer proof. Yeah, it is. There's like a little tiny bit from like the inside of my mouth. I think it's because it like got in here, but like literally nothing. So it is completely transfer proof so far. I'm going to go ahead and put this gloss on. That feels so much better. I definitely like the way it feels with the gloss. I don't know if I would be able to handle wearing this on its own. It's just that like tight and like sticky. But with the gloss on top, like really nice, really comfortable. The gloss is a nice gloss and it is very shiny. Like you almost get that like glass like lip. I'm gonna go ahead and do the kiss test with the gloss on. Still no pigment. I mean, obviously it took the gloss away. Still comfortable with less gloss, but I am going to reapply the gloss just because I want to see with full application how long it lasts. So really happy with this so far, like extremely happy. If this wears well throughout the day and doesn't get uncomfortable again, I think this is going to be a new favorite. So hopefully, like obviously the gloss came off, that's not going to be transfer proof, but the color is like on there for good. There was no color on my hand. So completely transfer proof so far, and let's see how it wears. So basically I'm going to go ahead and go about my day, and wear this for as long as possible and update you guys at the end of the day. It is already 4 o'clock. This took me like 2 hours to record because I had kept having to plug my battery in. So that was fun. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and stay tuned for my updates on how these products wore in my final review. Okay guys, so it is 11 o'clock and it's been 7 hours. I will admit, despite my concerns with the foundation, my makeup doesn't look that bad. Just like right in here, we look a little bit cake face. I'm gonna turn the ring light down. So it looks a little bit like cakey, and I have produced a shine that's normal for me. I have combination skin. It's actually not even that bad. Like, I could just take the Clean Fresh powder, just a little dab here, a little dab there, and there you go. We are mattified again. So that's not really that big of a deal to me. I would have expected a shine, especially when it's a foundation that there's claims of it being radiant finish. I don't necessarily, again, I touched base on how I don't really think it's that dewy. I do think it's a pretty natural finish foundation, but I do see where the radiance comes through. I think there's more hydrating ingredients. I'm hoping that it's maybe that I put too much on. But I mean, to be completely honest with you, if it says it's buildable, I should have been able to apply 2 layers. It says it's supposed to be a medium to full buildable coverage. So unfortunately, I don't love the way that my makeup's looking. I will definitely be updating you guys on all these products in my monthly favorites. I had really high hopes for it. I loved it at the beginning and it kind of went downhill from there. The face palette, absolutely love. We already know that. It's, I think, really incredible. The highlight and the blush and the bronzer are all still there, so they definitely wore well through the day. Still not sure about the primer, because the only reason I say that is because I don't know if maybe that had an effect on the foundation. I need to test it with foundations I'm familiar with, but I do have to say that it's looking like it was the foundation. I do think it smoothed out the skin. Is it the most smoothing, the most pore filling primer? No, but did it smooth? Did it kind of hydrate? Yeah, so I do think that this is good as of now. The liner, this eye was like, I went to town on the inner corner with my finger and then realized I had like kind of smudged my liner. That's understandable. That's my own fault. But this eye that I did not do that to is like completely intact, not a smudge, not a streak, not anywhere. It wore incredibly, and I do think it holds up really well, and it did not bleed, so I'm really happy with that. The mascara, again, I'm happy with, but it's not my favorite. It didn't flake though. It didn't flake or smear. Brows, I'm not mad about. I'm not mad about them. I think it's something I need to kind of get used to using. I do think it's going to be really helpful for like days I just want to do a quick brow, because like, let me tell you, it was really quick to just kind of like really quickly line them and then use the spoolie to brush the hairs up and just do a quick line across the bottom, way quicker than really getting in there with a precise brow. So, and it does give a more natural feathery fullness to it. So I did really like that. Again, I really liked the powder. I think that that is a beautiful powder. This guy though has wowed me. I've wore this for 7 hours. I ate, what did I eat today? You know you have awful memory when like 3 hours ago you ate dinner and you have no idea what you ate. Oh, I had like a rice bowl. I make like rice and I'll grill chicken. I'll put sweet potatoes in the oven. I'll do chickpeas and corn in a pan, and I'll put it all together with some cheese, and like I make my own chipotle sauce. It's like literally the best thing I've ever had in my life. But anyways, long story short, I ate that, and I'm a messy eater. So I definitely was kind of licking my lips, and I probably wiped my lip a little. It's totally transfer proof, like totally transfer proof. Totally transfer proof. One of the longest wearing, non-smudging, non-bleeding, non-transfer. I'm really impressed with this. The only thing is it is quite drying. I do feel like my lips are tight. It's not the most comfortable, but when you apply the gloss, definitely kind of livens things up and makes things more comfortable. I am noticing in the center of my lip, it's wearing slightly. I do feel like now by the end of the day, as it's starting to wear in the center, when I rub my lips together, it feels like it's pilling up, but it is the 7-hour mark. So I think it's looking really good for 7 hours, and it's definitely going to be something I'll be like wearing more often, especially for days that I'm going to be doing something. Isn't that a joke? If I ever get back to like having a life, this guy will come in handy. And I like that once the gloss wears off, it doesn't feel like that sticky initial feeling, because if it had of, I would have been totally like not happy with this. But I'm really happy with the way that it wore. So yeah. That is it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and have a wonderful day. And I'll see you guys next time.